The goal is to qualify for the Boston Marathon in 12 weeks. I'm training for another marathon. It's called the Super Hike Marathon in Washington. So the goal is to run a sub 250 and qualify for the Boston Marathon. That's an average of 6:29 per mile for 26 miles. And I got 12 weeks to do that. So for context, I just ran the Ventura Marathon a month ago. I took the last 3-4 weeks off recovering, and I ran the Ventura Marathon in 3 hours, 0 minutes, and 1 second. Literally 1 second off from going sub 3. So I'm gonna have to shave about a little over 10 minutes off in the next 12 weeks. Everyone I've talked to says that's gonna be a lot and it's a really ambitious goal. Chat and Claude both said, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. That it's kind of unlikely, but I feel like I could do it. And there's a few reasons why, because I feel like my last marathon, I was in better shape than the time I got. This isn't an excuse. This is more just like looking at the data. So like I stopped 3 times during last marathon, once to pee, once to tie my shoe, which when I was tying my shoe, my hands were so cold, it took me like 3 tries to tie my shoe because I just could not get the knot down. So that was like almost a minute. And then I also stopped to stretch my calf because it was kind of tight. So that was maybe 30 seconds. So I feel like I was actually in like 258 shape for my last marathon. And so I feel like that puts me in a good spot. Also, my last training block was not ideal. One, I got shin splints during my last training block. I was kind of doing like a weird training block, I'm not gonna lie. There was 0 easy mileage. Each workout, I was like going hard, like at race pace or even faster than race pace. And so I think that's part of the reason why I got injured, because I was just going too hard. And there was just like not a lot of volume. I think my peak week was like 37 miles. I didn't even reach 40 miles. And I was probably averaging, I wanna say 25 miles a week on average, which is just like not conducive for like a fast marathon. And that's why I feel like there's so much low-hanging fruit that I didn't claim last marathon. So I think if I have a successful training block and I stay injury-free, that's a big if, I think I could do sub 250. So the plan for this training block is just increase mileage. I'm running 5 days a week this time. I was doing 3, now I'm doing 5. Lots and lots of easy miles. Not as intense as last training block, but just like increasing my volume. I just finished week 1 and I ran 31 miles this week. So 31 miles in week 1 is like almost what I did in my peak week last training block. So I'm gonna do a lot more easy miles, running 5 days a week. Not as much as intensity, a little bit of speed work here and there, but I think the name of the game this time around is just increasing my mileage. I'll probably peak around like 50 miles a week, which isn't that much, but I also know myself and like I'm very injury prone, and so I need to be really careful, and that's why we're gonna be running like 60, 70 miles a week, which is what most people recommend if you're trying to run a 250 marathon. Most people will say like, if you wanna run a 250 marathon, qualify for Boston, that you need to be running 60, 70, 80 miles a week even. And I just know my body, I cannot handle that, at least not yet. Maybe like later in my running career, but I definitely can't handle that now. Like I'm very prone to shin splints. And so that's the goal. Another like part of this marathon training block is just focusing on running. I think last time I was like lifting a lot because I wanted to like put on size and muscle, honestly for vanity and like aesthetic reasons. And I mean, obviously I want to be like a runner, but I don't want to look like a runner. And so I was just like lifting a lot and my focus was kind of everywhere. This time around, I want to be like single-minded and I want to get fast at running. Like that's the goal, is to get fast at running. Who cares how I look? I'll obviously be doing some lifting, but more to supplement my running and keep me injury free. Maybe some resistance training for a little bit of aesthetic so I don't lose too much muscle. But honestly, 12 weeks isn't that long. And so I feel like I'm gonna be okay. Like if I just dedicate myself to running and getting faster and not so much on lifting, that's gonna be so much better for me. What's the saying? Chase 2 birds, catch none, or chase 2 rabbits, catch none. So I'm just gonna chase one thing, and that's getting to Boston. That's the plan. I'll share a little bit more of my training plan and how I built it later. But yeah, I'm also excited to be like documenting this journey and seeing my progress. Let's go, we're gonna make it to Boston. And if I don't get this time around, then I'll just sign up for another race and do it then. Like I know I'm gonna qualify eventually, but I don't even wanna think about that because I wanna do it now in June, 12 weeks from now, or 11 weeks from now. So let's go, follow along on the journey. Let's get it.